In this video, we're going to talk about how to create story highlights that convert. A lot of fitness coaches don't take this seriously and they don't get the benefits. They just chuck some posts up thinking, okay, I'll use this and hopefully something comes of it. Why should you have story highlights? It allows new followers and existing followers to get to know your story, what you do for your clients, how you do it, and what your service is. They increase your likability, follower loyalty, which will create trust and generate you more sales over time, especially when your page starts growing and you're building. It's a great thing and vehicle to have because they act as funnels and increase new leads to your business daily, weekly, every single month. And I suggest using anywhere from 2 to 5 story highlights. They're very, very powerful, especially when done right and using the right storytelling techniques, which I'm going to show you in this video. So here are some examples. You have an About Me section, client results, service, and tips. Personally, I do believe you should have About Me so they can really understand more about who you are and how you got to where you are today, and then your service, okay? Because in your service, you can also talk about client results. You can talk about a client's journey specifically and what it is that you do and how you help them. Then you can have a client results section where you can just show a ton of client result pictures and the results that they got. And then tips, fitness tips, where you can give extra content on your stories that you can add as a highlight, learning about different industry topics that they can take and use in their day-to-day. That's just another way of putting the cherry on top. But the next thing is you have still covers. When you have your story highlights, you just take one of the images from your story highlight and it is your cover image. Or you can customize your cover images in Canva, which I think is very, very powerful, because when you look at mine from before and after, when you see that blue background, if I come to your page, that's just going to catch my eye and naturally it's going to make me want to click on it just to see what it is about. But if you look at both pictures, the other one doesn't really stand out that much. I see it and it's like, cool, I don't really want to click on it. So you can definitely do this in Canva. And we show you in the video how to do this. So make sure to watch that after you've gone through this video. So how do you structure your About Me story highlight? There's 5 stages to this that you want to follow. You're going to start with a hook and you're going to end with a call to action. And with these two, you're only going to have them be one story, okay? You're not going to ramble on about them, because with your hook, you want to tell your audience what you do right now so they know, because then you can qualify them. They're like, okay, this is for me. Yep, this is the person that, I want to follow, I want to listen to, I want to go through this story highlight because this is for me. Because there's tons of people that will come to your page and they're looking for different results, or they're trying to find a specific coach and they see this and they're like, okay, this is the one that I want to follow. So you start with that. Then you're going to go into telling them about your background. Where did you start before you became the fitness trainer you are today? What did you go through? Because we sit there and think, oh, no, I don't want to be vulnerable. I don't want to talk about those things. That's what your audience needs, because that's where they currently are. They're in that situation where they might be lost. They might be lonely. They might not know what to do. And if you were also there and you got out of it, they want to hear that. It reassures them. It builds that trust, because when you see my story and you know that I was also a personal trainer and now I've got a business creating a content agency for fitness coaches, you have more trust in me. You feel like you can relate to me more because I know the industry. I've been there. I know the struggles. So it's really important that you do that. And then you want to go on to, how did you start what you're doing today? How did you become a personal trainer? How did you become the fitness coach? What did you do to get here? What were your trials and tribulations to get to this point? And I said in my story, which is, I loved every moment of being a personal trainer, of training clients, taking my circuit classes. But I found that I really enjoyed making content more. I couldn't wait to film it. I couldn't wait to document it, learning about different angles, how to tell a story, how to get people's attention. That I actually started to resent training people more than I did filming content. And that's when I knew I had to step away and focus on something else for a little bit. And then you want to go on to, what are your goals personally and in your business? The reason for this is because people want to feel like they're a part of something. Why do we follow businesses like Gymshark? Why do we follow Nike? Why do we follow these big brands? Because we know what their mission statement is. We know what they're trying to achieve, and we want to be a part of that. And it makes us feel good. So for my business, Social Edits, we want to help over 1,000 fitness coaches create better content for social media so we can be a part of that change, which is impacting more lives through fitness. And we want to try and reach over 1 million people. That's a big goal, but it shows our audience that we're in this for the long term, because I love what I do and I want to create that lasting impact. And that doesn't happen just over years. That happens over decades. That happens over time. And then my personal goal was, for me, I personally want to retire my mum because I grew up with a single parent and she'd done so much for me, and I want to give back to her. So by talk about some of the personal things that you want to do as well, someone also might be going through something like that in their life, and that's what they want to do, and they can relate to you on that aspect too. I think that's really, really important. And then at the end, you want to have your call to action. Are you going to get them to reach out to you in the DMs? Are you going to get them to download your free ebook? Like, what is it that you want them to do? Or do you want them to just follow your page for more fitness tips, depending on where you're at in your business right now? Maybe you haven't got your service set up, or you haven't got links to your website or anything like this. Know what you want your call to action to be, because when they've gone through this, and the ones that get to that page, they're warm leads. They want to take action. And by you giving them that nudge, that's what's going to help them tip over the edge. So with your About Me section, follow this template. Take your time with it. Don't rush it. Really think about where you started, where you were, and how you got to where you are today. Go back into the archives, get the videos, get the pictures, and use them. And be careful of the wording that you use. You want to create that emotion and relate to your audience. Don't be scared to be vulnerable. The next one is your service. And I use myself as an example for this in the fitness personal training terms. So you want to be talking about your client, and you want to start with a before and then an after. So I use mine, and I want it to be playful, because you can just chuck a before and after on the screen and it's great, but you see it so much nowadays. Like, do something that's a little bit different. So I started again with a hook, which was, this is week 1. I was 164 pounds. Tap to see Scott lose 3 kg of fat. Already it's like, whoa, how much did he lose? How much did she lose? Well, okay, I want to see this. And because it's playful, I'm now tapping on the screen. I'm now engaging. Well, I then want to go and watch more of these stories. I want to go and see what the outcome is. So I tap and I click, and then I see the transformation. I go, whoa. And I'm more likely going to go backwards and go, what the? No way, that's incredible. What a transformation. It makes me feel good. I'm like, okay, let me continue. Where did this person start? How did they get to that stage? And then you have the parlay of the text at the top, which is, want to know how he did it. Duh, yeah, I want to know. And you're going to keep going through those stories. That's what your audience is going to do. And then you want to talk about the reason for why they reached out to you, okay? Be brief, don't ramble on too much. But my old business was called SNF Fitness. He reached out to us at SNF Fitness, ready to invest in himself because he was tired of not reaching his full potential. And use images, use videos that your clients have of them not reaching their full potential, where they weren't in a good place. I was staying up late, drinking coffee, working on my business, and I just was not in good shape. I'd recently come out of a toxic relationship, and I just wasn't happy with myself at all. And I was using my business, my work as a coping mechanism, and I was just eating really badly. And you can kind of see that here. Like, my family member took a picture of me because I just passed out on the sofa. It just wasn't good. Okay, and you want to talk about that in your stories. Then you briefly want to talk about your service, what you do, and the clients that you help, so you can qualify the people that are viewing this if this is for them, if that's what they're looking for, and you're someone that they can work with, because now they're going to go through the rest of your stories. Okay, and I broke down with my business, which is at SNF Fitness, we specialize in helping men take back control of their lives by building healthy habits and skyrocketing their self-confidence through fat loss. So if I'm the viewer and I'm a man and I want to get back my confidence and I actually want to lose fat, this is for me. Great. That's what you want to do. Okay, so it's really important that you follow these steps. And then it comes into the juicy stuff as well, which is you then want to talk about the position your client was in before working with you. Where were they? And as you can see, I've got a picture of me where I really was not in a good place at all. And you want to use the wording that, again, makes them want to continue reading. So in 12 weeks, he went from. So by saying he went from, I know that he's gone somewhere else now. He's moved on to something. So in the 12 weeks, he went from no self-confidence, wasn't going out, no training structure. He was dehydrated, had poor sleep, very low energy levels, and bad eating habits. Then, now I'm waiting. Okay, then what's now happened? Then you're going to talk about the position the client is in after the transformation that they had. Completely transformed his life to someone who enjoys life again, goes to new events each week to meet new people. He has a routine, a structure. He is getting 8 hours of sleep a night, drinking 3 liters of water a day, training 4 times a week with good eating habits and increased energy levels throughout the day. Okay, I want to know more about this. Because what you're kind of leaving out is exactly the details, which are the specifics of your program for how they've done that. And that's what they want to know, which is why they're going to reach out to you. And then I think this one's going to really hit it home, which is you want to share their testimonial with you. Get them to film one that is, maybe around 30 seconds long. It covers 2 stories. okay? Because the story is 15 seconds. Talking about how you help them and how it's improved their lives and how much they love your service, okay? And yes, they can maybe even talk for like 2 minutes or so, and then you can just break it down into the main points. And this is going to be really impactful because videos do that, because you can hear the tone in their voice. You probably even hear me speaking now about how much, like, I love this. I love creating content and telling stories. You can hear it in someone's voice. You can feel their energy, and you're going to get that through that video. And that person's going to see this, the audience that's sitting there viewing it, going, wow, like, I want to be in that position. And then this story, the next one, is going to parlay into your call to action at the end, where you're actually going to speak to the viewer that's watching your story highlight right now. You're going to talk about their position they're in their life right now and relate it back to your clients that took action. So how I put it here was, Scott, just like many of our other clients, they were in the same position as you are in right now, watching our stories, wishing it was them, who had made a life-changing transformation. Then, 12 weeks later, they did just that, because they chose to make a life-changing decision. They asked for help. Got my words mixed up then. But what you're telling them is, it's okay. I'm reassuring them. Where you're in right now doesn't have to be where you're going to be in 6, 12, 18 weeks. Asking for help isn't a weakness. We're actually showing them this is a strength. Our clients did exactly the same. They were sitting there, going through our stories, going through our posts. And the one thing that changed it, which was uncomfortable, they made the life-changing decision, which was asking for help. That's all they've done. And once you take that step, there isn't going back. And then you have your call to action at the end. Again, you're reassuring them that isn't a weakness. It is a strength. And if you're finally ready to break old habits and build a body you're proud of, DM me the word today. And when you use that word today, don't use it in any of your other call to actions, because you can then keep track. When people DM you the word today, you know this is coming from my story highlights. So you can kind of keep track in your KPIs. My story highlights are doing well. And then finish it off with, we look forward to speaking with you, and we'll get back to you shortly. Being friendly, and you're being genuine. You're not trying to be too over salesy, and you're reassuring them that this is all okay. And we're here to help you, and we want to help you. And they might not take action straight away from this story highlight, but what you've done is you built trust with them. So they're probably going to be long-term followers of your page. And that's going to allow you to nurture them over time. They're going to engage with your posts, engage with your stories, and reach out over time. And then when you do, different stickers, interactions on your stories, which we'll get to later in this course as well, they're probably going to vote on them. And then you can reach out, start conversations, and then they become a client. So this is really, really important. So definitely follow this framework right here when it comes to your services. Go in depth about speaking about one client transformation, and do this for maybe 2, 3, even 4 clients. It doesn't just have to be the one. You can do this for 3 or 4, because they can go through one and then they go on to the next person, and that can just reinforce it even more about how good your service is and the lives that you've been able to impact. And then another one, you can add the fitness tips. You can use Q&As, stickers, videos of you providing value. And they can be just 1 story or even 5 per tip. And here are some examples that I did that you guys could use, but for fitness, which was, guys, please stop making these 4 Instagram bio mistakes, okay? We've obviously gone through and talked about the bio, and now they also know, don't do this, okay? Don't make these mistakes. You have to change it, okay? You have to focus on these things. And they're going, great, that's value. I'm going to use it. You've just taught me something else. Or do you want to know 10 real ideas for fitness coaches? Then on the next story, I've just given them 10 ideas, and they go, wow, okay, thank you. Again, building that trust, giving them more value, and you're not asking for anything in return. And then one that I like that's really, really cool is, today I got a message from a client, and just give them like 3, 4 examples of different messages. And this is a quiz, and they've got to guess which one it is. Regardless if they get it wrong or right, you then talk about the right answer in a couple of stories on how they got this result, how they lost X amount of pounds, how they've gained more energy, how they managed to stick to changing their diet. And it's just going to be free tips and free advice. So when should you update your story highlights? This is something that people ask me. I'd probably say anywhere from every 3 to 4 months, because you want people to see that you're updating your stuff because you've got new client transformations. It's great. Like, you go onto someone's story and it shows it from 200 weeks ago that, whoa, they've been in this game for a long time. But at the same time, you want to know that they're still producing these good results, that they're still getting them for their clients, because that's what you're investing in. You're investing in the now. I'm not investing what you did 200 weeks ago. So I think that's really, really important. But also, you're going to be on your stories and you're going to keep showing updates and stuff, but keep the same format. You don't need to change anything. Keep the same format, the storytelling technique. Just change, the images, maybe the different angles, change up some of the words that you use. And it's just going to help over time with keeping everything fresh. I think that's really, really important. And then your action steps from this video. Choose which story highlights you want to use. Again, I do suggest using the About Me and service, but again, depending on where you are at right now with your fitness coaching journey, you might not have your website set up yet, or free lead magnets, whatever. So you may just kind of want to talk about how you've got to where you are, the About Me, and then your service and what it is that you do to try and get some clients through the door. And then create your cover images for your highlights, again, using Canva, going through the video that we shared with you in order to do that so it just stands out a little bit more. Don't have to, but it's something that I think could just, again, add that cherry on top. And then plan out and create your story highlights. Do not rush it. You got to understand the first ones aren't going to be great, okay? You've got to put your reps in. You've got to practice. And the more you practice, then you'll do this on your stories just in general anyway, you're going to get better. Your wording is going to improve. And another thing, document. Even right now, take pictures, document your journey, because in 2, 3, 4 years, you're going to be really grateful for the fact that you did. Okay, I've got a YouTube channel of 5 years worth of videos, 350 videos that I've used and made that over the years I'm just going to keep referring back to as I grow my business. So I hope this video helped. Go and crush it. Go and take these action steps and use them. And I look forward to seeing your story highlights.